Hello, my name is Madam Jennifer from Educare TZ. Welcome my lovely Form 4 student in our biology session, and in today's session we are proceeding with the solving of the series of the Necta question for variety of the years, and today is the Necta question for the year 2014. So, the question is question number 3 for the year 2014, and it states that state 3 actions which take place in the human body in response to each of the following conditions. First one, when the temperature of the surrounding is low. Second one, when the body temperature rises due to increase in the surrounding temperature. And the question number 3, Roman B, states that briefly explain why people look pale when they feel cold. My lovely Form 4 students, before we answer this question, first of all, we have to follow the instruction. Our question needs you to state only three actions which will take place in the human body in response to each of the following conditions, or being given condition. And for each condition, you have to state 3 reasons. The first one is you have to state which happen when the temperature of the surrounding is low. And for the A Roman 2, the question needs you to state 3 actions which happen when the body temperature rises due to increase in the surrounding temperature. And the last one needs you to just explain briefly why people look pale when they feel cold. After knowing the condition now, let us see where this question has been derived so that we can know which concept we are going to use to answer the question. This question has been derived from the topic of the Form 3 topic, in that topic of the regulation. So you examinee, in order to answer this question, you need to have a deep understanding pertaining the concept of the regulation, especially regulation in mammals, where we have seen that in our topic we have learned here to Educare Media, we have 2 kinds of the organism. We have the poicotem and the homothems. Homothems, these are the organisms which are able to maintain their internal body temperature at the constant level despite of the fluctuation of the external temperature. Example, mammals and birds. So the human being is found within the phylum Mammalia, within the class Mammalia, at that class of the phylum Chordata we are studying the classification of the living things. So as knowing that this human being is homothems now, meaning that it is capable of producing its metabolic heat internally to increase the body temperature when the body temperature is low. So these are the endothems, meaning that they are capable of conserving the internal body temperature at the constant rate for the performance of different metabolic activity or bodily activity when either the temperature of the surrounding is high or when the temperature of the surrounding is low. So the questions needs you now, after knowing what are the human being, where the human being belongs, we have already seen that is a homothems. So now we can state the action which the human being or homothems use to control their body temperature when the surrounding temperature is low and when the surrounding temperature is high. So the temperature regulation by mammals at low temperature. In order for mammals to regulate or to maintain the internal body temperature despite of the decreasing of the surrounding temperature, there must be a variety of the action which needed to be taken to ensure that the heat is not lost to the surrounding, but the heat is conserved for the performance of different cellular activity into the body of the human being. The first one, because without this action, meaning that a person can suffer from the freezing or overcooling. So the human being, one of the characteristics that they are capable of maintaining the internal body temperature. So once the temperature of the surrounding is low, the following are taken, or the following are the action which are taken by the human body. First one is increase the metabolic rate. Increase the metabolic rate. How? When the temperature of the surrounding is low, there is increase of the different cellular activity into the body, like respiration and the catabolism. So, meaning that the rate of the breaking down of this complex simple substance, to simplest substance through the respiration process to produce energy which can be used for the growth and development, and other energy are released in the form of heat so as to conserve the temperature of the body when the temperature of the surrounding is low. So one of the action which is taken is the increasing of the metabolic activity, especially the respiration process. So the increasing metabolic rates, the body initiates the chemical reaction that change carbohydrate and fat into the energy upon respiration. Vile vile katika low temperature kuna increase of the metabolic rate. Kwa mfano, during the cold temperature, this human being they tend to eat a lot so as to ensure that they provide the body with a lot of the glucose, which once broken they produce a large amount of the energy, and others are released in form of heat so as to conserve the body temperature. So the body initiates the chemical reaction that change carbohydrates and fats into energy, and that is respiration. And the energy is used by the body to perform various activities, and some energy are released in form of heat. The heat increases the body temperature, and the metabolism is mostly carried by the liver and the skeletal muscles. So this metabolism or metabolic activity are carried by the liver and the muscles. Unajua kwamba katika liver kuna kuwepo na the storage of the carbohydrate ambayo ni glucose in form of glycogen. So once the temperature of the body is lower, so the metabolism or the breaking down of this glycogen will take place so as to ensure that a required amount of energy is being produced, and the others are released in form of it so as to ensure that the temperature of the body is being maintained at the required level. Another one is shivering. Shivering ni kutetemeka. Ni vile unaangalia binadamu anakuwa anatetemeka sana sana wakati wa baridi. Kwa nini? Let us see. The second action when the temperature of the surrounding is low is shivering. Shivering is the body response to cold environmental condition. In cold condition, the skeletal muscle undergo rhythmic voluntary contraction which increases the amount of heat produced into the body. Kwa ile pale kutetemeka, ile pale ni voluntary. So meaning that ukiwa kwenye baridi, unasema no, mimi sitaki kutetemeka. Unajikuta unatetemeka hadi mdomo. Automatic unaweza kujizuia, lakini still ile ni mechanism ya kuweza conserve the heat of the body. Because the body tend to undergo the involuntary skeletal muscle movements so as to conserve the heat from losing to the cold environment. Another action which is taken by the human being at low temperature is vasoconstriction. Vasoconstriction meaning that these arterioles, the arterioles which are responsible for the supply of the blood, they tend to constrict, meaning that after the constriction they tend to lower that rate of the blood flow under the skin. So ile rate of the blood supply into the body inakuwa inapungua, inakuwa ina be slowed down as mechanism, inakuwa ina flow deeper under the skin as mechanism of conserving the heat loss at low temperature. So vasoconstriction nasema kwamba when the animal or when the human being is subjected to cold condition, the superficial arteries are constricted, and this process is called vasoconstriction. So when vasoconstriction occurs, blood flow is slowed down to reduce heat loss through the skin. So most of blood passes below the insulating layer of the subcutaneous fat, and therefore little heat is lost into the environment. Na hapa ndio swali letu limetoka la kipengele B. Kwa nini why people tend to look pale when they are during the cold condition? Ndio swali lako limetoka hapa. Ile paleness ni due to the constriction of this superficial arteries, ambapo inakuwa ina lower the rate of the blood flow under the skin, kuensure kwamba kiasi cha heat can be conserved to the body so as to ensure the performance or maintenance of different cellular activity and to functioning on different bodily organs. Tunajua kwamba the body of the human being inakuwa ni enzyme controlled, meaning that it depends on the temperature. in order to work, it must be working in the optimal range of the temperature. So the decrease in the temperature might result to the inactivation of the enzymes, or the increase of the temperature above the optimal range might result to the denaturation of the enzymes, ambazo zinaweza zika affect different psychological metabolism into the body of the human being. So the question number 3, Roman 2, need us to state the three actions which are taken by the human body when the temperature of the surrounding is high. So the temperature regulation at high temperature by the human being. So what are the actions which are now taken now? The first one is vasodilation. Katika low temperature tunaona kwamba kuna vasoconstriction, unakuwa na constriction or contraction of those afferent arterioles. So hapo tunakuwa na ile relaxation, ndio zinakuwa zina dilate. Zifanya dilation meaning that kunakuwa na ile rate ya flow of the blood inakuwa inaongezeka. Kwa ile speed of the blood, the speed of the flow of the blood to variety of the body part, kwa mfano under the skin and different body part inakuwa inaongezeka as mechanism of the cooling the body from overheating. So when the body of the when the surrounding temperature is at high, the human body tend to respond by the vasodilation of the blood vessels. So this is a widening of the superficial blood vessels near the body surface. So they tend to widen and relax, so as to ensure that the amount of the blood flow and the rate of the blood flow is at higher rate. So the vasodilation occurs when the smooth muscle in the blood vessels relax. And when the body temperature rises, the superficial arteries dilate in order to allow the blood to flow close to the skin and close to the skin surface. Kwa vasodilation will take place, meaning that kuna widening of this blood vessels kuensure kwamba kiasi cha blood kinakuwa inapita kwa wingi, na vile vile haipiti tu kwa wingi, inakuwa ina flow close to the surface as mechanism of losing the heat. Another one is sweating. Sweating ni kutokwa jasho. Binadamu tunakuwa mfano sana sana wakati wa baridi, wakati wa joto, kutembea maeneo yenye joto kwa mfano kama Dar es Salaam, wakati wa joto, jua kali, watu wanakuwa wanatoka sana jasho, na hivyo wanakuwa wanakunywa sana maji. Lakini ile jasho ni kwa nini? Kwa sababu ya jua kali. Kwa hiyo muhimu wa jasho, meaning ya jasho ile pale ni nitrogenous waste. This inakuwa ina contain the watery substance pamoja na salt. So inasaidia katika cooling of the body. Inasaidia katika cooling. So vile vile swali hapa unaweza kaulizwa regulation upon excretion, they are somehow related. Unaweza kuulizwa kwa nini watu wakati wa baridi sana wanakuwa na kujoa, na kwa nini wakati wa joto sana watu wanakuwa kujoa mara kwa mara as compared to during the hot condition. So this is baadhi ya maswali ambayo zinabidi derived here, lakini you have to connect. You can't use your common sense kuweza kujibu, lakini use the fact from the biology. This is science. Make sure kwamba once you attempt the question, you use the fact, not just say common sense. Understand, after that write it in a correct way. Don't memorize. So the sweating, the human body have ability to control the body temperature through the sweating, and this is because of their body have large sweat glands and are found beneath the skin over the whole body, enabling them to be more efficient at cooling through the sweating. My lovely Form 4 students, we know that we have 5 sense organs. We have the eyes, we have the ear, we have the tongue, we have the nose, also we have the skin. Skin, this is one of the sensory organs which is responsible for detection of the temperature change, either during the cold or during the hot condition. When the body detects that there is an increase in the temperature, the impulses are transmitted to the hypothalamus, where this hypothalamus will respond by activating or by stimulating the sweat glands which are located within the skin to ensure that there is increase in the production of the sweat, to ensure that the body is cooled from that overheating. So these sweat glands are produced from sweats are produced from the sweat gland. These are the example of the sucrine. The sucrine glands, they tend to have the duct. So this sweat gland, they tend to produce or secrete this sweat gland into the duct, which enable the cooling of the body during the hot temperature. So, and some animal with furs has limited sweat gland which are confined to area that do not have furs. This is just for other animal apart from the human being. So the human being at the high temperature, they tend to have the sweating. They tend to produce the sweat as mechanism of cooling the body from overheating. Another action is relaxation of the hair erector muscles. Unajiuliza kwa nini wakati wa baridi sana unakuta mwili wako unakuwa kama viupele upele, lakini wakati wa joto hivi vinywele vimekuwa kabisa vimelala. Hapa ni relaxation. This is one of the mechanism of cooling of the body during the hot temperature. Wakati wa baridi unakuwa na erection of the hair erector muscles. Mtu anakuwa kama vile ana maupele upele. Ile pale ni kwa ajili ya conservation of the heat from losing to the surrounding environment when the temperature of the environment is low. Lakini ambapo kutakuwa na high temperature, the body of a human being will the hair will relax. Kwa kutakuwa na relaxation of the hair erector muscles. And the hair present on the skin of the animal helps to control the body temperature. And the hair tends to lie flat when the environment condition is warm and rise due to the cold temperature. Kwa katika another action ambayo ni third one, relaxation of this hair erector muscles as one of the mechanism of the cooling the body from overheating. Another question from this particular question is question number 3, Roman B. And the question stated that briefly explain why people look pale when they feel cold. Briefly explain why people look pale when they feel cold. Also again, my lovely Form 4 student, as I've already explained during the action which the body takes when the temperature of the surrounding is low, where we see that there is a vasoconstriction. When you see that there is constriction of the afferent arterioles, so to ensure that the rate of the blood flowing through the skin is reduced. Also the blood tends to flow under the skin, deep under the skin, as one of the mechanisms of conserving the heat. So this question has been derived from the concept of that of the vasoconstriction. So most of people tend to look pale when they feel cold because of the constriction of the blood vessels ambayo ni superficial arterioles. So people tend to look pale because of the constriction of this superficial arterioles, and therefore near the surface of the skin to conserve the heat. So they tend to constrict near the surface. These superficial arterioles, they tend to constrict and therefore reduce the rate of the blood flow under the skin, and the blood tends to flow deep under the skin as mechanism of conserving the heat, to ensure that the heat is not lost to the surrounding environment. Kwa unajua kwamba when the temperature of the surrounding environment inapokuwa ni ndogo, na vile vile the body temperature itakuwa ni ndogo, kwa itakuwa na inactivity, mtu atakuwa inactive. So ili kuweza kuavoid that inactivity, kwa sababu tunajua kwamba human being are homotherms, wanaweza kuweza kuregulate the internal body temperature to the constant level for the performance of different metabolic activity despite of the fluctuation of the external temperature. So they have this mechanism kuweza kuensure kwamba they do not become inactive, kama wale poicotim ambao wenyewe their body temperature tends to vary depending to the external temperature. Meaning that wenyewe their surrounding temperature ikiwa ni ndogo, they tend to become inactive, na temperature ikiwa kubwa they tend to become active, na wanakuwa na katika high danger of being dying from the overheating and from overcooling. Lakini homotherm wenyewe wanakuwa na hizi mechanism ambazo zinasaidia kuweza kusurvive katika both cold pamoja na hot condition au hot temperature. Kwa ndio maana unakuta wanadamu kuna ambao wanaishi sehemu zenye barafu sana, zenye baridi kama barafu, na kuna wengine wanaishi sana sehemu zenye joto. So hizi hapa ni actions ambazo the human being au the homotherms wameweza kuzichukua na kuweza kumsaidia aweze kuishi katika mazingira ya aina yote, katika cold pamoja na katika hot temperature. Kwa swali letu sisi kwa linajibika hivi: kwa nini why people tend to look pale when they feel cold? This is due to the constriction or vasoconstriction. So imetokea pale due to the vasoconstriction of the blood vessel or the vasoconstriction of the superficial arterioles, to ensure that the rate of the blood flowing under the skin is slowed down and the blood tends to flow deeper under the skin, to ensure that the heat is conserved to the body source for the performance of different metabolic activity, and since the body depend on the enzyme control the activity. So meaning that the enzyme control the action tend to be at the normal state or at the constant state. So my lovely Form 4 student, I would like to thank you for your careful attention. I hope now you have understand on how the body of the human being, all these homothems, they tend to regulate their body temperature during the hot and the cold condition. So that mark the end of our today's session, but kwa wale ambao hawajafuatilia hiki kipindi, how this session ya topic yetu ya regulation, mnakaribishwa kuweza kufuatilia katika media yetu ya Educare. Nimeielezea in details a variety of the temperature regulation kwa homothems, picothems, the concept of osmoregulation, the hypotensia regulation, variety type of the regulation, na vile vile tuweza kuangalia the regulation in plants. So you are mostly welcome for following so that you can widen up your understanding. Uzuri wa biology ni kwamba biology you study something that is fact. So this is one of the importance of the science. So I would like to welcome you in another coming session here at Educare Media. Thank you for your attention. Have a nice moment, and I love you all, my lovely Form 4 students.